All right, we've reached the top of the hour. A little bit different setup this week. I'm coming to you this week from Tybee Island, about a half an hour from Savannah, Georgia, and a little bit more primitive conditions than normal. None of my normal sound studio type of thing, but we'll work with what we have. So today's practice is called the Practice of the Present, Cultivating a Balanced Life. So let's take a moment to really arrive here, finding a seated position that feels supportive to you. Perhaps in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, or maybe sitting on a cushion if that's your preference. Looking to find a lovely balance between being relaxed and being alert. You might imagine a soft thread pulling the top of your head toward the sky, lengthening your spine, while your shoulders simply melt away from your ears. And if it feels safe and comfortable for you today, I invite you to gently close your eyes. If you'd prefer to keep them open, simply let your gaze soften and rest on a spot on the floor a bit in front of you. And now let's just notice the breath. You don't need to change it or force it to be deep. Just feel the air moving in and out of your body. Think of your breath as an anchor. Just like a ship in a restless sea, your mind might pull and drift toward worries or plans. But the anchor of your breath is always right here, steady and submerged in the present moment. And whenever you notice that your mind has wandered, which it may do, simply acknowledge that with a smile and gently guide yourself back to that feeling of the inhale and the exhale. In our lives, we often fall into a quiet danger. It's that habit of counting what is missing. We wake up and immediately scan for what we lack. The energy we don't have, the person who isn't there, or the goals we haven't reached. We empty our cup before we've even tasted what is already inside it. The antidote to this is not a forced positive thinking, but a sincere turning of our attention toward presence. It is the wisdom to see that while life has hardships, it is also a gift. We are never truly alone in this. Every breath we take is built on a foundation of others, those who raised us, those who fed us, and those who walk beside us now. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a small, quiet garden. This garden might represent your daily life. Often we focus on the patches of dry earth or weeds in the corners. But I want you to look closer. Notice a single flower blooming. This is a small comfort from your day. Perhaps the warmth of your morning tea. Notice the sunlight hitting a leaf. This is the kindness of a stranger or the sound of a bird. See a sturdy bench. This is the strength of your own body that has carried you through every year of your life. As you walk through this garden, feel the lack falling away, replaced by the simple, heavy reality of what is actually here. As the poet Mary Oliver writes in The Summer Day, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" We answer that question not with grand achievements, but by being here now. Happiness isn't a destination we reach after a promotion or a move. It is the practice of the current moment. When we are fully present, we see a flower as a flower, and a person as a person, rather than a projection of our own expectations and fears. Picture yourself sitting on the bank of a wide, clear river. This river is the flow of time and change. You might see autumn leaves floating by. These represent your past regrets moving away from you. You might see ripples ahead. These are your anxieties about the future. Instead of jumping in to grab the leaves or trying to stop the ripples, just stay on the bank. Watch them pass. Everything that arises will eventually pass. This is the truth of impermanence. When we loosen our grip on how things should be, we stop fighting the current. We realize that the tree losing its leaves isn't dying. It is simply making room for what comes next. We must also remember to treat ourselves with the same care we would give a dear friend. We often chase a mirage of perfection, imagining a version of ourselves that never makes mistakes. But purpose is better than perfection. Purpose doesn't ask you to be flawless. It asks you to be sincere. Like a garden that needs tending, your mind needs the rest and nourishment of this stillness. As we prepare to begin the transition back to your day, let these thoughts, framed as affirmations, rest in your heart. I choose to focus on what is present rather than what is missing. I choose to focus on what is present rather than what is missing. I release the need to be perfect and embrace the value of being sincere. I release the need to be perfect and embrace the value of being sincere. I am an essential part of a vast web of connection. I am an essential part of a vast web of connection. I meet change with curiosity rather than resistance. I meet change with curiosity rather than resistance. I allow myself the grace to return to the present moment over and over again. I allow myself the grace to return to the present moment over and over again. And one more. My peace is built in the small, quiet pauses of my day. My peace is built in the small, quiet pauses of my day. We'll take a little bit longer bit of silence here. Just giving our minds a chance to integrate any insights that may have bubbled up today. And I'll be back in a few moments and we can begin our transition out of practice and back to our day. As we begin to transition back to our day, let's bring a little bit of gentle movement to the body. Maybe beginning to wiggle fingers and toes, perhaps shrugging the shoulders, maybe turning the head from side to side gently. Feel the weight of your body against the chair. Noticing again that solid connection of your feet to the floor. And then in your own time, when you're ready, just slowly blink your eyes back open and let the light back in. Carry this sense of balance and presence with you as you move back into the world. Take good care of that life you have been given. Namaste.